Hey everyone, it's Chris Shelley. This time we're doing NASCAR Xfinity Series cars, the fixed setup series at Michigan International Speedway. So this is the legacy version of the track, so it's kind of like 2009 or something before the repave. So I'll be walking through this race. So here's a qualifying run. This is my fastest lap actually. This track is interesting. So on the qualifying runs, what I'm doing is I'm not braking at all. Sort of easing out with the gas. Maybe tap like a brake, a little bit of brake in turn 3, then just try to roll to the throttle as much as you can. Come off the corner. That's a lot. Very wide open track, really flowing. It's pretty slick. Track temperature is pretty high, 106. You can see just sort of really just get onto that brake, lean on, and you want to stay in that second groove, right? That first lane down way down on the bottom is because reduced banking, so you don't want to go all the way down there. But yeah, stay in the second groove. Just on the try not to lift, and I made a bit of a bobble and cost me a bit. I do think I could have gotten a 2 if I didn't make a mistake into a 40.2, but a 40.3, it's alright. This is a fairly strong field, so I ended up not starting that far up to the front because of that. Let's be on to the race. Alright, so here we are with the race. So you got a few different pro contender drivers in this. So that's always fun. And I like that just because it gives you someone to learn from, see exactly where you stand. So I'm never upset that someone straight up beats me. It just shows that I have room to grow. So this is a 35 lap race. Again, cautions are on because this is Xfinity Series. Um, got the starting zone rules. I think somebody actually this race did mess up on the start. Yeah, this look up. Watch this car on the outside in the front row here. He got penalized. I think he was in front of the leader slightly or something. But yeah, you're supposed to go on green on the initial start for the Xfinity Series, or I think it applies in the Truck Series as well now. So I have to be careful of that. This track is a lot of fun. It's a really draft. I feel like there's a decent amount of draft influence to it. Not a whole lot, but just a decent. It's like notable. That does help you. It's not as bad as say like the trucks when on the rescan version of this track, but I think you do have to consider it a little bit. Now you also have to, I think one thing I really could have improved on, and I'm gonna admit to you guys like I didn't do the best job of it, was the trail braking aspect. And I think I'm still really trying to figure out what good trail braking feels like in this Xfinity car. It feels so much different than in the ARCA car. Um, so I think just getting used to that is still still a part of the struggle. And then I got a little too aggressive. I got very aggressive with using throttle on exit. One thing I noticed is that because there's such low grip, especially as the run goes on, you're really gonna have to ease your way into the throttle. So that's something also I could have improved on. I was also struggling running the high side, like arcing out in 110-2. So I don't like running the high side, right? Here in this race, I don't think running the high side's an option. There's no rubber up there. There's no grip. There's not enough grip up there. I think you might even be bottoming out if you were in the third lane, entering into turn 1. It's just so many reasons where you can't run up there by yourself. Now you can try to defend. And I did see some people able to defend the spot, but just running up there, like unforced, just running up there for free, definitely not the move. Yeah, I was struggling with a lot of understeer. Now, I'm not sure if I was running too much brake bias or if it was not braking enough or what the deal was. My guess is that I'm still not running brake bias low enough. I think I had like 54%. And I'm still trying to get used to like what the good brake bias is. I know back in the day, I used to run like 50%, 51%. Really trying to get that rotation, but that was several years ago. That was when I was that was when I was a kid, man. So I don't know what people are running nowadays. Just gonna investigate that as well, getting that rotation, because I was very understeery heading into the turn, but I also wasn't wearing my right front tires compared to some other guys. So I don't know what that is. Either way, with the speedway tracks, you're gonna still be worried about tire wear and tire balance. Now, I wasn't super worried about overall balance. I definitely felt like I was using the tires about equally. It turned out I probably could have used the right front a little bit more, but that's fine. I also think I was a little too aggressive early on. And there are a lot of times where I kind of just try to power through a slide at the end of the race. And that goes against a lot of my rules that I set for myself. So, I mean, this is not... I would say this race is not something, as much as you can watch me exactly what I'm doing, you're not going to watch exactly what I'm doing on a copy of this, right? I'm just looking at this reviewing and thinking, here's where I could have optimized better and where you might learn from that as well. So 12 car. Running up on us. We're in 7th place. My goal is a top 5 of this race, which is a challenge. It's a challenge. I need more laps in these Xfinity cars. But I think we started off, our pace was not bad. We were able to stick with this draft pack here, this group. Just a big train of cars all stuck together. Hence why I think there's a decent amount of draft involved. Now, it does seem to be favoring... Like, while the draft does help keep everyone tight together, I do think, you know, you'd rather be in front with the clean air. Either that or this leader, who's also a pro driver, by the way. He might just be that much faster. That might be the difference, too. I don't know. He might just be better, man. So... You can go down on the bottom. Making a move on this 11 car, trying to at least. And to make it stick, now we just gotta hold on. Get the momentum off the corner. Nice job. So it's P6, so I'm thinking, okay, we gotta get one more spot. I don't think I'm gonna get it off of Malik, but maybe if Malik gets past the 8 car, I'm thinking, I can follow him past there too. Because you saw I followed him past the 11. So Malik made a move on the 11, made an opening for me to make him move. And that's sort of one of those things you gotta do when you're racing at these like big speedways where someone else makes a move, throws someone off the ideal line. That's a perfect time to strike. Most people are not practicing running like an outside groove or running a groove where they're trying to make a pass or they're being passed. So that's a great opportunity to take advantage of that weakness and just make a move on them when someone else has just made a move on them. So that puts us up to 6th spot. Let's go in car. See what it feels like inside the car. Now this setup feels really nice. I like it. You don't have to really actively think about it, the balance one way or another, I feel. It's not like Texas where it's super tight in 1 and 2 for everybody and everyone's struggling to get it to turn and rotate. But it's also not wrecking loose if you're patient enough. I wasn't patient enough. I was getting really aggressive. Part of that, again, part of that's running the ARCA car, which has less power. Part of that is also just not enough experience with this car, not enough patience. you know, running this is like low, very low downforce, very much smooth winds, being smooth and patient winds. You don't want to overdrive it, so it's something that should be considered. But you start to see already, like, I'm really struggling heading into turn one. Like, literally, just I cannot get it to rotate in a turn one. It is a little difficult because turn one is one of those you sweep into it corners, so it makes it hard to use a whole lot of brake, right? On the very initial turn in because you're already turning. I do think my my braking profile is a bit better. Again, I noticed this all in my videos, and I don't really notice it too much while I'm racing. But I look back at these replays and I'm like, wow, my brake profile is kind of not the best here. And I think that's one thing that I could have improved on to sort of help me in entering the corners. You see, Malik gets past the 8 car, and I'm like, okay, I remember you from last week at Texas, man. You're gonna get past this time. That's what I'm thinking. But keep in mind, I got some guy right behind me, right? We're all stuck together. It's very difficult to pull away from somebody, so we're all just bunched up. This is a lot of fun, though, this track. So, I don't know what I was doing there. I don't know why I slept low. I'm hitting penetrate. Just roasting my driving, because it's not... Some of this doesn't make sense, to be honest. But we're up there. 6th place. On the brakes. And I'm kind of just, like, pushing, like, a button, right? And that's not what you want to do when you're typically trail braking. You don't want to just be, like, pushing a brake button. It's like, on, off. I'm like, on, yes, give me 5% for 10 seconds, or 5 seconds, or 2 seconds. However, it's probably more like 2-3 seconds. Maybe the 2 seconds. But you don't want to do that. You want to trail off. And it's a little difficult, right? You got to be very precise with how you're using your brake pressure. You gotta use your foot, or you just gotta use the brake pedal to maybe smooth it a little bit. Here I tried something different. I used a little bit more brake pressure, and you see that actually kind of worked for getting more rotation. I'm just using a little bit more brake pressure entry, front loading some of that braking force, and then bringing it back down. Also, look at the track temperature, by the way. It's jumped up. I think it started... Man, I think it started like 106, 107 during qualifying. We're up to 113. Track is getting hot. The track is getting hot. I mean, you got 24 cars all running essentially the same line. 25, sorry. You can see on the top right there, the guy in 25th place. Yeah, he's the one that had a little issue at the start. Jumped to start. Unlucky. I'm not gonna like act like that didn't happen to me the first time. First week of Darlington. That's why I didn't upload the video. It was just a terrible, terrible race. I wasn't actually battling anyone, so I just jumped the start. The leader jumped the start too. I started second, but that's a whole other story. You're not gonna see that. Anyways, we are trying to figure this out here. Still getting that flat brake line. I don't like that. They're struggling, really struggling for grip. I'm actually losing. You can see I'm losing this front pack here. I'm really struggling here now. And keep in mind, there's still a halfway to go. I couldn't figure. I still just was not figuring out how to get this car to another turn in turn one. I felt fine in 3 and 4. My line wasn't perfectly optimized, but it did feel alright. but it's such a struggle to get this internal. Watch this. You want to get down the second line. Look how the 14 is able to curve down. I'm just like, oh, it won't turn, it won't turn, it won't turn. And then I'm on the gas and then it turns. So it's a struggle. There are a couple of different approaches to fixing that. So I think one, trying to trail brake more, front loading a little more brake pressure to try to get that front end to grip. Another one would be backing up the corner and sort of picking up the gas earlier. If the kinematics of the car make it so that or the kinetics of the car make it so that it just rotates more when I'm on the gas, then you gotta get the gas earlier if you don't need to rotate earlier. See here, I'm just pushing. It's a dump truck. Oh, there's so much understeer to turn one. So you see 14 car blows by me, 2 car blows by me. I'm struggling for everything I got, and 10 cars about to blow past me. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have time for another race this week, but definitely would like to investigate how to get these long runs better. We had it all right at Texas, but here we just couldn't. I just couldn't get it. Entering high again, there's no grip. I'm like, oh wow, we're going from battling for the top 5 to barely hanging on the top 10. Wow. That's just how some races go, you know, man. That's just how it goes. So let's try to make this move back on the 10 car here. Go down to the bottom. Less than 15 laps to go. It's 14 laps to go now. And I enter low and I'm like, whoa, it's turning. I actually turned the car. That felt a lot better than I expected. I still think braking, yeah, turn one entry. Mistake improved. But I felt like once I could get back into the rhythm, sort of in this last third of this race, I actually started to stabilize a little bit. So we're not dropping spots anymore. The pack is also spreading out a bit more too. You see, grip becoming more of an issue as the laps click on. You know, you can see fall off is approaching like 2 seconds a lap. So a lot less grip, a lot less corner speed. Here goes the 5 car. 5 car went around. So now I'm like, oh no, man, I gotta at least get a top 10. I can't let the 5 car pass me. So now I'm racing hard as hell. I got the 11 coming back up. Remember that 11 car? Remember? We made a move on him early in the race. He's coming back to us now, man. So he fell way back. He's coming back up, trying to make a move. Or not coming back up. He's just fell. But I'm falling harder. So 5 car somehow makes it stick on the outside here. I'm honestly a little bit sad until he doesn't make it stick. And I get a chance for another move, and I take it. I don't like the way he's wiggling down the straight. Look, he's trying to defend, of course. But I was like, bro, come on, man. Don't do that to me. And we try to clear him, we get clear of him. Now I got 2 cars to defend. But they're going to stall each other out a little bit. Hero-wise. I just need to make sure I hit this corner. Use a bit more brake, get it to sort of get down, not all the way entirely, but close enough. Sticks, get back up, and let's try to run down that 10 car. You hear the tire squealing if you're listening carefully. It's a little bit of tire squeal. No worries. So 10 laps to go. I want this 10 car. Also, look at my steering wheel on corner exit. I'm basically counter steering on corner exit. So you gotta. One thing about getting the car to rotate, entering the corner, is that you need to get it to stop rotating on the exit. So if you need to stop rotating the exit, the one way to do that is just throw less with steering wheel in it. So you saw me literally throwing the wheel to the right on exit just to make sure it doesn't spin out. Man, this is fun. This is fun to drive. I love driving cars at the very end of a race with low grip. Track is super slick. It's up to 115 now. You see this? I mean, just imagine how hot like the racing groove that everyone's running is. It's so much fun to drive. It's such a challenge, but that's what makes it so fun because it's challenging. His 19 car hits the wall. He's got 10 cars laughing at him. This is a very silent race, actually. Usually I realize that I haven't muted the chat in this replay until like lap 5. This one we had 28 laps in before I realized that anyone said anything. Very silent race. Not a lot of whining. That was good. I hate, I hate to be like I hate to hear the whining during the race. So now, okay, I see 19 car got into the wall. He's got some damage. He's really struggling for rear grip. 11 car is trying to also make a move on me. So I know I have to be really efficient with this move here. So here you go, down to the bottom, and just beat him to the apex. Nice, clean, textbook pass. Just got to defend on exit. I know he has no rear grip, so he should not beat me on exit. Now he's got to defend the 11 car. And now I am looking for this 10, so I can try to get up to 8th place. So we're up to 9th, trying to get up to 8th. At this point, I realized, like, okay, yeah, no, not getting that 7th place. So I'm not even going to match my number. Definitely not going to get the top 5 I wanted. But that 10 car slams in the wall. So I'm like, oh, give me that 8th spot, baby. So 10 car drives it, and he does not give us any space. And I honestly was like very, like, you do not understand how upset I was. This bottom line down there is very, basically undrivable. So that kind of really pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. That really kind of pissed me off the way he did that. Yeah, I would never force anyone. You saw it, like, when people are going, or trying to make passes on me. I didn't force him down to the white line, so. No, to that bottom group, because it's no grip down there. I mean, it's just not raceable. That was a little, I thought that was a little bit disrespectful, but. What are you gonna do about it? 11 car gets past us, we try to get around 11, 5 car tries to make a move on the high side. I try to defend, but there's still space. He loses enough momentum, we stall him out a little bit, I think. We go almost 3 wide into turn 1. 10 car finally just is like, okay, yeah, I got nothing. So now we come out of it and, oh, wait, we're still in 9th after all that. It's a little annoying. Could have been an 8th if the 10 car didn't hold me up, but he's just going to let us pass anyway. That's racing, you know? He's not supposed to give it to me for free. I just didn't expect him to do that to me. Here I am complaining about whining while I'm also whining. So, so 3 laps to go. If 11 cars makes a mistake, I'm right there, but I also have to defend the 5. I still haven't figured turn one out. Look at this. Understeer, not anywhere in the line I really want to be. No rotation. 11 car kind of makes a mistake. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. We're sending it down the bottom. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 3. 5 car. I give him space here. He almost slides up. I stay in it. I'm like, you know what? If he wrecks me, he wrecks me. But I'm going to go for the spot. So we go here. We hold off the 5 car. But now we up 2. For momentarily P8. Let's see if we can try to stick it. Make it stick down in turn 1. 2 laps to go. Hold him. Got him. Or so we thought. He's going to go for a crossover. That was a clean crossover. I could not have pulled that off because I have no grip outside of turn 1. I still haven't figured that out. He just made that stick really clean. So now we're hanging on the top groove. Come out of the white flag. This is the battles I live for, man. 11 car passes me. I'm trying to like, okay, you know you're gonna pass me? I'm gonna make a crossover. And heading to turn 1, and I don't know what it was. I just didn't hit the corner right. Sort of slipping, sliding. I'm like, ah, give me this, please. But no, he gets to clear me, and now the 5 car's making a move on me. So now I have to hold off the 5 and 3 and 4, and I think I can do it. This outside line is fairly strong. I like my line on the outside here. And we hold on to it. Or do we? Yeah, we hold on to it. Whew. 9th place finish. Track temperature got up to 116 degrees on that last lap. Last couple laps. That's the hardest I've worked for for a 9th place finish. A lot of fun racing these. All love the car track combo. It's not as multi-groove as it should have been, but even with only that one active group, it's still so much fun to drive. So yeah, I'd definitely say if you want to improve at this car track combo, these Xfinity cars at Michigan, you're gonna want to learn how to do that high-speed trail braking. So sort of get your car rotated into the corner, right? These cars like a lot of side force. They like to get it a little bit sideways to get the side force aero. So you're gonna need to get it rotated. And then you also need to use throttle control to not spin out or power through any sort of oversteer. Because there are a lot of times where it was subtle too, right? But like some of them you could tell like when you're in the cockpit that like, oh, I'm powering through a little bit of a slide. You probably don't want to do that. It's wasted tire wear, wasted tire, and wasted extra tire temperature thrown into the car. So you don't want to do that. So those are really only the 2 things. For this fixed setup, this setup was like fairly good balance. So I didn't really think about tire balance that much. It was kind of just like, how well are you using all 4 tires? So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you find this helpful. Hope you enjoyed the race. Please like and subscribe for more. I'm Chris Shelley. See ya.